Children's therapy can be an effective way to manage mental health, whether your child is in crisis or just needs a little extra help handling big feelings. Mental health is a top concern on parents' minds these days, and for good reason. As the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports, in the 10 years leading up to the pandemic, there was a 40% increase in mental health issues among kids, including depression symptoms such as sadness and hopelessness, as well as suicidal ideation. Moreover, the CDC reports that 9.4% of children live with anxiety disorders, 8.9% have behavioral issues, and 4.4% experience clinical depression. But there's hope. Mental health conditions in children are treatable. Therapy for children is an effective way to manage mental health and can be helpful whether your child is in a mental health crisis or just needs a help managing their big feelings. Let's take a deep dive into therapy for children, including how to know if your child needs it, what its benefits are, and the different kinds of therapy offered to children. What is child therapy, and does your child need it? Child therapy, sometimes called psychotherapy or talk therapy, is a type of psychiatric treatment used to help children understand and manage their feelings, change their behavior, communicate more effectively, and build resiliency. Therapy can be used on its own, but in some cases, it may be combined with psychiatric medication. Many parents wonder whether their child needs therapy and want help determining if therapy might be a good choice for them. First, you are the expert on your child, says Brett Biller, CCID, licensed psychologist and mental health director of the Audrey Hepburn Children's House at Hackensack University Medical Center. If you have a sense that something is off with your child, you should go with your instincts and reach out for help. Dr. Biller says that your child doesn't necessarily need to be in a crisis to benefit from therapy. Therapy should not be viewed as a last resort. In other words, something that is only necessary when things are bad or broken, he says. Therapy is most helpful as a support or something to strengthen your child before the wheels have fallen off. Still, there are times when the wheels actually fall off, and during these times, your child may show more obvious signs that they are in need of help. Some typical indications that your child may benefit from therapy include noticeable and lasting changes in your child's daily mood and social interactions, Dr. Biller says. For example, have you noticed that your child is less talkative than they have been in the past? Do they express less interest in activities they typically found pleasurable? Are they engaging in more isolated behaviors? Again, you know your child best. If you notice any extended changes in your child or their behavior, Dr. Biller recommends talking to your child about their emotions and behaviors. If it seems clear that they are having trouble managing their feelings or behavior, therapy should be considered. What are the benefits of child therapy? All of us experience thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and these occur naturally. But understanding these is a learned skill, and that's where therapy comes in, Dr. Biller explains. In the same way that teachers have specific education and training, therapists are teachers or coaches who have obtained specific education and training that help children understand their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, he says. Therapy can benefit your child by teaching them to become more mindful of their feelings and teach them skills to manage their emotional reactions and behaviors more effectively. But your child won't be doing this work on their own. Child therapy in particular is usually thought of as a collaboration between the child, the parent, and the therapist, Dr. Biller says. Therapy is most effective when therapists support caregivers so that children continue skill building after the lesson. Or in the case of therapy, a session, Dr. Biller explains. Taking an active role in your child's therapy is necessary for effective treatment. What types of child therapy are there? There are many different therapy types that a child therapist might utilize. Some therapists focus on one specific type, and others may use a combination of approaches. It can be helpful to speak to several different therapists when selecting one for your child. As you interview different therapists, you can ask them more about the approach they use and what that might look like in their practice. Here are some of the most common child therapy types, who they are most appropriate for, and how they work. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is based on the idea that if we become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can learn to control how we react to them. During therapy, the therapist will teach your child mindfulness techniques for becoming more aware of thought patterns and then offer techniques for managing thoughts, emotions, and behavior. CBT can also be helpful for children who've experienced trauma, says Dr. Biller. Utilizing CBT techniques, such as trauma-focused cognitive behavior therapy, TFCBT, with children who experience trauma enables children to explore aspects of their traumatic experience while gradually desensitizing them to the horrors of their experience. Dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. Dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, is most often used with teens who are experiencing suicidal thoughts and behaviors. It is also a mainstay in treating borderline personality disorder, but it can be used for kids of all ages and with a variety of issues, says Anne-Marie Pagano, LMSW, trained DBTC psychotherapist who works with children and families at Suffolk DBT. DBT is a therapy that helps children understand and become aware of thoughts, feelings, and actions, she explains. DBT for children often involves a combination of individual therapy for kids and parent coaching for caregivers. Working as a team, the parents will learn to be able to check their emotions and vulnerabilities before helping their child cope with her or his emotions, and learn parenting techniques to help the child through the difficult emotions they may feel, Pagano describes. Play therapy. All children love to play, and play therapy utilizes this to create a nurturing and enjoyable environment for children. During play therapy, your child will be given toys, books, games, or art supplies to engage with. The therapist will observe your child to see what themes your child may be expressing through play. At times, the therapist will play with your child and also talk to them directly and indirectly about their feelings. Play therapy is helpful for younger kids who may have trouble vocalizing their feelings. Parent-child interaction therapy, PCIT. In parent-child interaction therapy, PCIT, parents play and interact with their children while a therapist observes, usually via video or through a one-way mirror. After observing you for a while, the therapist offers you coaching to help you have more positive interactions with your child. Usually, PCIT takes 12 to 20 sessions to complete. Family therapy. Family therapy is a type of therapy where parents, children, and other family members meet together. Communication and learning to understand one another is usually emphasized. Family therapy can be particularly helpful for children with anxiety, as well as in situations where their parents are experiencing marital conflict, says Patrice Berry, CLD, LCP, a clinical therapist at Four Rivers Psychological Services. Family therapy can be described as a systems approach, where the child comes to therapy with the identified problem and the entire system/family engages in treatment to help make changes, she says. Treating the entire family can help make lifelong changes within the system/family. Behavior therapy. Behavior therapy is usually for children with conditions like ADHD and other behavioral conditions. When behavior therapy is applied to ADHD, the goal is to modify the child's environment and social life so that the child is more able to control their behavior. Parents, caregivers, and teachers work together to come up with and enforce certain rules that allow for more positive discipline and behavior. This may include positive behavioral reinforcement, sticking to a predictable daily schedule, goal setting, and choosing activities that your child can feel good about and thrive in. The bottom line: if you think starting therapy would be a good next step for your child, consider speaking to their pediatrician to discuss options and get some referrals for therapists. Your child's school counselor or school psychologist can also be a wonderful resource for you as you begin your journey. Most of all, remember that neither you nor your child is alone when it comes to mental health. Compassionate, effective care is out there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.